In a recent video message sent from the White House, President Barack Obama said, quote, what I'd like to do is to see the first 2 years of community college free for everybody who's willing to work for it, end quote. As it is now, people are spending copious amounts of money on higher education, and they don't have this money to spend. Many people would be getting to go to community college for free, but what are the costs? After researching this topic, I have found that this plan is unrealistic. Although many people believe that this would be a great chance for the citizens of the United States to go to receive higher education for free, we should not support it because it would cost taxpayer dollars and ruin the four-year education system of universities like UNI. In this speech, I will talk about the problems of the free community college plan, and I will also talk about the negative effects it will have. Finally, I will propose why we are better off without it. First, I will be talking about how the plan will be paid for. Initially, this plan seems great, especially as a college student myself. Not having to pay for the first 2 years of college sounds amazing, but not if our country goes into debt because of it. One of the biggest problems of this plan is how it will be paid for. The U.S. is a world power, but that doesn't mean they should be spending money left and right just because of that. This is our nation's debt clock, so you'll see it in the top corner right here. That is our nation's debt, and you'll see that it's always rising and it's never falling. And all of these are just different things they're going towards. So yeah, I'll just leave that up for the remainder of my speech, and you can just see how it goes. It's kind of fun. You can always see this whenever you type in this address. So yeah. In a recent Forbes article, Maggie McGrath writes, quote, funding for the program, if it were to pass, would be 3/4 federal, with states contributing to the remaining 1/4 necessary to make the cost of schooling free to qualified candidates, end quote. She goes on to say that states that already charge less for a community college wouldn't have to pay as much. But I would rather have our states not have to pay anything at all than our nation go into more debt. Next, I will talk about how it affects us as students. This proposal would completely alter the decisions of many prospective students. If this plan were in place when I was choosing where to go to college, then I wouldn't have come to UNI at all. I would have gone to my local community college, and I know a lot of you would have done the same. In the Chronicle for Higher Education, Eric Helderman says, quote, legislatures in California have proposed offering bachelor's degrees at community colleges, end quote. This came after the plan for community colleges, free community colleges. This would be a problem for schools like UNI. It wouldn't be fair for students at community colleges to get their first 2 years free while students like us do not get the same treatment. If students can also pursue a bachelor's degree at a community college, then it would be more likely that they would want to stay at a community college. So they wouldn't want to come to a school like UNI. UNI would have to have something special in order to ensure students coming here. There still would be people wanting to go to foreign universities like UNI, and this is because they would have a wider range of majors. This plan might change the kinds of classes that foreign universities offer. Like UNI may choose to focus on teaching and accounting and business. Iowa State would be like engineering and agriculture, and Iowa would be like medical and law. But not putting this plan into place will keep UNI running as it is. Finally, I will talk about how it will harm universities. If community colleges do not offer bachelor's degrees, then people will be tempted to to stop after receiving their associate's degree. In the New England Journal of Higher Education's Yves Salomon-Fernandez says, quote, "Increases in community college graduates may not automatically translate into increases in the available talent pool for local businesses," end quote. Many jobs require more than 2 years of schooling. With so many people qualified for jobs that only require an associate's degree, finding a job would be tough. In addition, jobs that require more than 2 years of schooling wouldn't have as many qualified people. Most of the important jobs require extra schooling. What if there weren't enough people willing to go to school to become doctors and nurses? Where would we be? We need highly qualified people to keep our nation running smoothly, and sometimes an associate's degree just will not cut it. The fact of the matter is, if you want to specialize in anything that requires 4 years of studying or more, then you're just going to have to spend some money. First, I told you how the plan would be paid for. Second, I told you how it would affect us as students. And finally, I told you how it would negatively impact universities like UNL. If this plan were to go into place, then the education system would be completely altered. On the surface, this plan seems great. I would love not to pay for the first 2 years of my college experience, and I'm sure you would too, but it's just not